Hello, folks. Welcome to Business Basics. We've been looking at 25 tips this week for how to build a business where your team are accountable for their results. And today, in this video, we're looking at how you build a culture of accountability. I'm joined by my absolutely fantastic guest and world's top 10 business coach, the amazing Andy Hemming. Andy, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Hi, Mark.
You're going to talk today about building a culture of accountability. Have you got 5 tips for me? What's your first tip?
Well, the first tip is clarity. If we don't create clear expectations for our team, how the heck can we expect them to give us the performance that we would like? So I think various elements to that. Tell them what their roles and responsibilities are. And normally that's short and sharp, 3 to 5 main duties that we hire people for. Anything else is probably superfluous and lower value. So we need to keep them focused on those top 3 to 5 actions. And then making sure that we consistently communicate those expectations to them so we can keep them focused on it. I think that's really important as tip number 1.
So if that's the first step, what's the next step, Andy?
Well, I think, we don't hire sheep, we hire people. So everybody in the business can be a leader. And as a result, accountability, they should want to be accountable for their actions because after all, that allows them to improve. So if we've defined the right measures, in my perspective, ownership can't happen until accountability is in place because ownership's only an idea without accountability, isn't it? Unless we've got an objective evaluation of performance, people can't possibly take ownership. Whereas if we're giving them clear measure to improve, then now they do become autonomous and can start thinking for themselves about how they improve their score in the game, as it were.
That idea of own your shit, right? Taking responsibility. So,
absolutely.
So if that's the second tip, what's your third tip, Andy?
Well, I think no man is an island. So we need to have really good quality communication within the business because that allows us to synergize and come out with something better than the sum of the parts. Now, there are plenty of elements to quality communication. And it really starts with, doesn't it, with a high level of trust in the team. So actually putting systems in place to build really high levels of trust will drive that open communication because people won't feel like they need to cover their proverbial all the time. They'll be evaluated on what they're doing, which is turning up with best intentions, doing the best they can with the resources they have available, and accept the fact that through quality conversation, improvement is possible.
It's funny you say, no man is an island, but I've worked in so many businesses where actually communication is shocking between people, and there's lots of little fiefdoms going on. And I'm sure the business owners watching this have experienced that as well.
Absolutely.
So if that's your third tip, what's your fourth tip, Andy?
It's really important to catch people doing things right. We're pretty good at catching people doing things wrong and criticizing them for it. But what do we want to reinforce? The positive behavior that is giving us the results that we want. Everybody likes recognition. They might not be driven by it, but even a thank you is brilliant and a well done is great. It will improve motivation. It will improve good feeling and morale in the business. So I think catching people doing things right and spending less time focusing on the stuff they're doing wrong, because they're not doing it wrong intentionally. And if they are, they probably shouldn't be part of the business. But if we accept the fact that everybody's doing the best they can with the resources they have available, then even if they're not quite as right as we'd like it to be, then we should still be recognizing that performance.
Gratitude and abundance can go a long way in leadership, right?
Very much so. Very much so.
So if that's your fourth tip, what's your fifth tip, Andy?
Well, we've talked about communication. We've talked about consistency. And I think there's a third C word here, which is congruence. Right? Lead by example. How can you possibly expect your team to perform in a certain way if you don't perform that way yourself? I think the idea of do what I do, say not what I do doesn't quite work, does it? I firmly believe we train our team and our customers and our suppliers as to how we expect them to behave. So if you want them to behave differently, train them differently. And I think the thing is, if you notice stuff in the team that actually isn't the behavior that you'd like to see, the first place to look is probably in the mirror, because what are you doing to cause that?
Isn't that interesting? Andy, it's been absolutely brilliant to see you today. Thank you so much for coming on, showing those 5 tips.
Pleasure.
Folks, Andy's got 25 tips for building a business where your team are accountable, and they're all documented in his guide. So if you'd like to get a copy of that guide, then visit the website. The link's in the post here, and you can get a copy of that, and we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.